Welcome to my channel. Today, I will explain about what causes yellowing of orchid leaves and how to save them. There are many reasons why our orchid leaves turn yellow in this way. The first reason is that yellowing may occur due to too much watering the orchid. You should not water the orchids too much. Usually we all water the orchids too much. We think that orchids like water, but if the orchids are given too much water, yellowing of the leaves will occur, as you can see. How can we understand this? There is a very simple way to find out. We can immediately look at the roots of the orchid from its outer pot. If there is already rotting on the roots and yellowing of the leaves, this means that you have watered too much. And what should you do in such a situation? In such a case, you need to cut the orchid water immediately, and not water the soil until it has dried thoroughly. In other words, as I have mentioned in all my videos, I repeat that the orchid needs water anyway. After the roots turn gray, it is necessary to give water. Otherwise, the rot will continue and will progress to the body. Especially, we can see yellowing of the leaves shortly after the newly purchased orchids come home. This is one of the most frequently asked questions. The reason for this is yellowing of the leaves can occur after coming home due to the loss of heat and light moisture, and caused by too much watering in the environment where our orchid is found. When the orchids, which are too much in the water in the market, come to the house, we irrigate immediately, and therefore yellowing occurs after a short time. Therefore, do not immediately water an orchid you bought home. At first, wait for the environment to get used to the humidity, heat and light. And if you water after the roots turn gray, you will not encounter such problems. Another important point, the third point, is that one of the reasons for the yellowing of the orchid leaf is aging. We can see yellowing in the lowest leaves of the orchid in time. Perhaps it is a 4-year-old or 5-year-old orchid. Yellowing on the lowest leaves is a normal thing. This actually indicates that the orchid is in development and will give new leaves and new roots. And it is starting to shed its old leaves gradually. In such a situation, you do not need to worry. After a short while, you will leave the orchid leaves and you will see that new roots and leaves are formed. Another reason for the yellowing of orchid leaves may be the yellowing caused by our orchid being exposed to too much sun. Orchids like places with lots of light, but this can be misunderstood. So they don't like direct sunlight. When you put it in direct sunlight, yellowing occurs on the leaves of the orchid, and all of these leaves are formed in the same way in a short time. In such a case, you need to get the orchid from the sun immediately, and you can keep the orchid in an environment with plenty of light, but no direct sun. And one of the other most important reasons is that if the orchid has a fungal disease, yellowing of the leaves may occur in this way. Do you see this orchid? It is normal at the moment, not too bad in the roots, but look, the leaf has fallen. I especially want to show you the leaf of this orchid you see. Look, you see, there are small spots that are both yellowed and gritty. As you can see on the root part, there is black darkening, where it falls from the body part in small little spots. If your orchid has a leaf winding in this way, and there are small grit, black or brown spots on it, and if there is blackening in the root part, this indicates that the orchid has a fungal disease. Fungal disease is one of the worst diseases in orchids, because, unfortunately, the orchid can die immediately if it is not intervened immediately. Therefore, if you are sure that it is a fungal disease, we need to switch to the treatment method immediately, and if there is blackening, especially on the root and stem parts, this indicates that the orchid is now progressing and reaching the leaves. These darkening causes the leaves to fall over time. Look in this yellowing, there is a darkening and blackening from where it breaks off. This shows that the orchid is a mushroom. That is why it is in the middle leaves, so we need to treat it immediately. If we do not apply a treatment method to it, unfortunately the orchid will die in a short time. For this, I want to pour the roots of my orchid immediately. I will show you both inside. As you can see on the inside, all the roots have always yellowed. And as you can see, there is a sponge inside. This sponge also caused the wrapping inside to move faster. And at the same time, the stem kept moist and wet all the time, and the stem also caused the fungus to progress gradually. I wash it well, as you can see. I wash its leaves as well. By the way, Orchid came to me from outside, so I took care of it. Normally you don't need to take it out this way. I will disinfect one scissors and clean the roots of the orchid now. If you have such fungi in the orchid and you haven't bought it new, you don't actually need to change the pot. What you need to do is to buy a fungicide from the pharmacies. Or you can spray oxygen water, but oxygen water may not be as effective as fungicide. Also, moisture oil is very good for fungal disease in orchids. You can apply it to the mushroom stems. I will soon spray this with oxygenated water after doing the body cleaning and let it dry like this. You see, I also disinfected and cleaned the body well. Because there was mushroom on the body part, and it is absolutely necessary not to leave this mushroom area open like this. We can cover this area with one fungicide or one moist oil. In this way, we also prevent the prevention of microbes from outside. And at the same time, I clean the lower leaves. I tried to clean the body part of the orchid by opening the lower leaves. And finally, I squeeze out oxygenated water. Look, if it foams like this when I squeeze the oxygenated water, it indicates that the area is mushroom. So I'm going to squeeze a lot of oxygen water and keep the orchid in the sun for a little while. I'll let it dry thoroughly. Then I will plant an orchid in a suitable pot. But as I said, you should definitely apply fungicide on this area. For the fungus disease of our orchid to not progress, yes, look, I especially sprayed on its leaves. Because if there are microbes on the leaves, in the same way to disinfect them. But it is necessary to pay attention to the body part here. You can also put one napkin inside the leaves. While drying, you can help to remove the accumulated water, especially by turning it upside down in the sun. In this way, I spray and thoroughly disinfect the roots, stems, and branches of the whole orchid. I hope this video has been useful for you. If you liked my video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the like button. And turn on the ringtone to be notified of my new videos like this. You can make lots of comments and ask questions. I am trying to answer all of your questions one by one. Goodbye and be healthy.